Welcome to the Explainer. Let's jump right into it. Today, we're unpacking a massive, invisible trade-off that we're all making literally every single day. We are steadily swapping out our messy, unpredictable biological reality for a frictionless, perfectly curated digital world. But what's the actual cost of all this convenience?
To really wrap our heads around this, we need to ask a crucial question posed by the author Christine Rosen. What do we lose when we no longer talk about the human condition, but rather the user experience? And hey, this isn't just a debate over semantics. It's a profound philosophical shift in how we fundamentally define living, breathing, and just existing as human beings.
Okay, let's dive into this. As we explore this shift, it becomes crystal clear that this isn't just some anti-tech rant. It's actually a fascinating look at how we understand our very existence. The human condition is embodied. It's fragile, it requires private spaces, and it inherently acknowledges our physical limits. By stark contrast, the user experience? Well, it's entirely disembodied. It's trackable, it's data-based, and it promises to be completely limitless. The user experience treats the physical friction of real life like it's a bug that just needs to be engineered away.
Section 1. The Biology of Connection. And this brilliantly illustrates why this matters. We often talk about empathy and human connection as if they're just, nice, abstract ideas. But they're actually intense physiological necessities. Our bodies are hardwired to react to one another. Take our vagal system, for example. It's essentially evolution's empathy engine, and it literally requires regular, face-to-face interaction to stay healthy. When we mediate our communication, like asking for a favor over a text or a Zoom call instead of in person, we're actually causing that empathy engine to atrophy. Studies show that mediated interactions make us measurably more self-centered. We ask fewer questions about the other person, we use I and me way more often, and our overall capacity for trust drops off a cliff.
But it's not just about our faces. This physical connection deeply involves our hands, too. There's this fascinating concept sociologists call situated cognition, which basically boils down to making is thinking. When you use physical tools, whether you're handwriting a note, playing guitar, or crafting something out of wood, you absolutely force your mind and body to work together. This hands-on friction is an absolutely critical developmental process. So when we're constantly hiding behind smooth, frictionless glass screens, we lose that vital physical cognitive link, and our ability to learn and remember actually takes a hit.
Section 2. The Death of Patience. Our tech-driven pursuit of extreme efficiency has completely devastated our psychological tolerance for the everyday delays of physical life. Just look at this shocking stat: 400 milliseconds. That is roughly the amount of time it takes your eye to blink. Google's engineers found out that if search results are delayed by just 400 milliseconds, users become noticeably impatient and start searching less. Literally the blink of an eye and our patience is gone.
And the numbers get even wilder when we look at video. 2 seconds. That is the exact threshold where users start actively abandoning online videos if they haven't loaded yet. Just 2 seconds. Our expectations for hyperspeed have entirely shattered our psychological patience.
The cultural fallout from this is absolutely immense. We've built this culture of nowness that takes every single interstitial moment, standing in line, waiting for a bus, sitting in a doctor's waiting room, and turns it into a commercial opportunity or just another chance to stare at a screen. By commodifying our distraction, we're effectively killing off creative boredom. We never just sit with our own thoughts anymore. And the crazy thing is, that's exactly where creative incubation and daydreaming actually happen.
A perfect example of this shift is how we wait in line. Think about Disney's Fast Pass system. Waiting used to be a shared physical reality. Sure, it was boring, but there was an inherent fairness to it that we all understood. Now, we apply scientific management to our leisure. We literally buy priority access. Waiting shifted from a shared human experience to a segmented, paid user experience. And this slowly dismantles our public empathy. Think about it. When we feel entitled to just bypass the wait, any delay in the real world, like someone merging a bit too slowly in traffic, feels like an intolerable insult. It's exactly why we're seeing things like road rage absolutely skyrocket.
What we're really witnessing here is what's called the soylentization of life. This is the dangerous mindset that treats every complex human need as a perfectly solvable engineering problem. Think about the early meal replacement drink, Soylent. Treating food as mere fuel completely ignores our messy biological reality, which, of course, led to visceral bodily reactions like burbling stomachs.
It's the same thing when we treat socializing or healthcare as technical problems. If we deploy robot advocates instead of human nurses, we completely strip away the empathy and the human touch that's actually required for true healing.
Let's move to section 3 and see how this builds, the reality privilege myth.
So how does this play out on a societal level? Well, there's a terrifying concept emerging in the tech industry known as reality privilege. It's the idea that a rich, real-world physical environment is a luxury, while the masses should be perfectly satisfied with virtual reality. We're actively creating a two-tiered society where the wealthy get to enjoy the luxury of in-person doctors, handwritten notes, and physical human caregivers, while everyone else is just relegated to automated screens and the metaverse. It's the total luxurification of actual human engagement.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how tech leaders view this divide. Tech investor Mark Andreessen notes that the reality privileged might call this conclusion dystopian, but he argues that reality has had 5,000 years to get good and is clearly still woefully lacking for most people. It's a fascinating, if pretty chilling way to justify pushing the so-called reality deprived into virtual cages. It suggests that algorithmically generated environments are somehow a blessing rather than a profound human loss.
But let me ask you something. Would you plug into Robert Nozick's famous experience machine? If you could have a lifetime of simulated, perfectly programmed pleasure without ever knowing it was fake, would you do it? Recent studies actually suggest more people might say yes today than ever before. Yet deep down at our core, we still have this innate human desire to actually do things. We want the real risk, the real peril, and the real triumph, not just the algorithmically generated illusion of it.
Section 4, Reclaiming Our Human Friction.
So how do we actually push back against this digital tide? Well, defending reality isn't a privilege, it's a necessity for our biological and societal survival. So the crucial point is how we evaluate the tools we let into our lives. We can adopt what's called the Amish filter. Before you blindly adopt a new piece of technology or download the next big app, stop and ask yourself these 3 questions. How will this impact our community? Is it actually good for our families? And does it support or undermine our shared values? By using this simple, intentional checklist, we can empower ourselves to evaluate our tools and reintroduce some necessary, healthy friction right back into our daily routines.
Which brings us to our final, provocative question for you to ponder today. Will you continue to perform your perfectly curated user experience, or will you reclaim your right to a messy, unpredictable, and entirely undatabased human condition? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you for joining me on this explainer. I hope this inspired you to look up from your screen, embrace a little bit of the friction, and fully engage with the physical world. See you next time.